I found a box of letters in our attic from a woman claiming to be my husband's first wife and the mother of his child. Both died in a car accident 10 years ago. My husband swears he was never married and has no children. But I just got a call from a teenage girl calling him dad. I, 28F, am writing this from my sister's house because I can't be home right now. In the last 48 hours, my entire understanding of who my husband is has been shattered, and I have no idea what's real anymore. 2 days ago, I went into our attic to find our Christmas decorations. We've lived in this house for 2 years, bought it from my husband David's 34M late uncle who left it to him. David's been meaning to clean out the attic for months, but kept putting it off. I was digging through boxes when I found one in the back corner, taped shut, covered in dust. No label. I opened it. Inside were letters. Dozens of letters, all addressed to David Morrison, my husband's name, at this address. The return address was from someone named Claire Morrison. Morrison is David's last name. I took his name when we married 3 years ago. I opened the first letter. It was dated 12 years ago. Dear David, I can't believe you're doing this. We have a daughter together. You can't just walk away from us. Mia asks about you every day, and I don't know what to tell her anymore. She's 4 years old, and she needs her father. Please call me. Please come see her. Whatever problems we have, Mia deserves to have her dad in her life. Claire. My hands were shaking. I opened another letter, dated a few months later. David, your lawyer sent the divorce papers. I signed them. I hope you're happy now. But know this, you're abandoning your daughter. She'll remember this. She'll remember that you chose to leave. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for anything except that you be a father to Mia. That's all. Claire. I tore through more letters. They spanned about 2 years, each one more desperate than the last. Claire begging David to see his daughter. To call. To acknowledge them. Getting angrier, sadder, more resigned. The last letter was dated 10 years ago. David, I'm done begging. Mia and I are moving to Portland. We're starting over. If you ever decide you want to be a father, you know how to find us. But I'm not holding my breath. I hope whatever you ran away from was worth losing your daughter. Claire. That was it. No more letters after that. I sat in the attic holding these letters, trying to process. David never told me he was married before. He never mentioned having a child. In 3 years of dating and marriage, he never once said he had a daughter somewhere. I pulled out my phone and Googled Claire Morrison Portland. The first result was an obituary. Claire Morrison and her daughter Mia Morrison, aged 8, died in a car accident 10 years ago. I stared at the obituary. There was a photo. A pretty woman with dark hair and a little girl with David's eyes. They died. Both of them. 10 years ago. I called David at work. Can you come home? I need to talk to you about something. Is everything okay? Just come home. Please. He got home 30 minutes later. Found me in the living room with the box of letters. What's that? He asked. Letters from your first wife. The one you never told me about. The one who died with your daughter 10 years ago. His face went completely white. Where did you find those? The attic. Who is Claire Morrison? Who is Mia? He sat down heavily. I can explain. Then explain. Explain why you've been married before and never told me. Explain why you have a dead daughter I knew nothing about. I don't have a daughter. I was never married to Claire. These letters say otherwise. Those letters are from a woman who was delusional, who was obsessed with me, he ran his hands through his hair. This is complicated. Uncomplicated. He took a breath. I knew Claire. We dated briefly, like 12 years ago. A couple months. It ended badly. She got attached. Obsessive. Started telling people we were engaged, that we were going to get married. I broke it off. She didn't take it well. And Mia? There was no Mia. Or if there was, she wasn't mine. Claire claimed she was pregnant after we broke up. Said the baby was mine. But we'd used protection every time, and honestly, I think she was lying to try to get me back. She sent you letters for 2 years. Because she was unstable. She kept insisting we were married, that I was abandoning my child, but none of it was true. I never married her. There was no child. Then why didn't you tell me about this? Because it was a nightmare period of my life that I wanted to forget. A woman I dated briefly became obsessed and harassed me for years. Why would I bring that up? Because she died. She and a child died. A child that wasn't mine. I pulled up the obituary on my phone. Look at this. Look at Mia. She has your eyes. He barely glanced at it. Lots of people have eyes that color. That doesn't mean. Did you take a paternity test? No, because I wasn't going to engage with her delusions. So, you just ignored her? For 2 years you ignored letters from a woman claiming you had a daughter together. What was I supposed to do? Take a paternity test every time some ex claimed I got her pregnant? Claire was lying. How do you know? Because I know. I was there. I know what protection we used and when. There's no way. Except there is a way. Protection fails. And there was a child. A child who died in a car accident. A child who might have been yours. She wasn't mine. We argued for hours. David insisting he was never married, never had a child, that Claire was delusional. Me unable to shake the feeling that he was lying. Finally I said, "Why do you still have the letters? If she was just some obsessed ex, why keep them?" He didn't answer. "David, why do you have a box of letters from someone you claim was just harassing you?" I kept them in case I ever needed proof. In case she tried to take legal action or... That doesn't make sense. If you wanted proof she was harassing you, you'd have gone to the police. You'd have gotten a restraining order. You wouldn't just keep letters in your attic. He stood up. I don't have to justify this to you. I've told you the truth. If you don't believe me, that's your problem. Are you serious right now? I'm serious that I'm not going to keep defending myself against accusations from a dead woman. He went upstairs. I heard the bedroom door slam. I sat there with the letters, reading them again. Claire's desperation. Her pain. Her conviction that David was Mia's father. Either Claire was delusional, or David was lying. I didn't know which was worse. That night, David apologized. Said he handled it badly. Said the letters brought up traumatic memories of being stalked and harassed. Said he understood why I was upset, but please believe him that he was never married and never had a child. I wanted to believe him. He's my husband. I love him. But something felt wrong. The next morning I Googled more. Found Claire's Facebook page, still up. Looked through her photos. There were hundreds of pictures of Mia. A beautiful little girl growing from a baby to 8 years old. And in some of the earlier photos there was David. David holding baby Mia. David at what looked like a birthday party with toddler Mia. David and Claire together, looking happy. I screenshot everything and confronted him when he got home. Explain these. He looked at the photos and his expression crumbled. Okay. Yes. I knew Claire. We dated longer than a couple months. But I swear, I never married her. And Mia, I don't know if she was mine. You're in photos with her. You're holding her as a baby. Because Claire insisted. She kept saying Mia was mine, and I tried to be there, okay? For a while I tried. But I never signed a birth certificate. We never got married. I never. Did you take a paternity test? He was quiet. David, did you take a paternity test? Yes, he said finally. When Mia was 6 months old. Claire pushed for it. And it came back inconclusive. Inconclusive means possible. It means you could be the father. It also means I might not be. Claire was seeing other people when we were together. There was no way to know for sure. So, you just left? You just walked away from a child who might be yours? I couldn't handle it. I was 24 years old. I wasn't ready to be a father, especially when I didn't even know if she was mine. So you abandoned them. I tried to help. I sent money for a while. But Claire wanted more. She wanted marriage, commitment, a father for Mia. I couldn't give her that. And then they died. Yes. And then they died. Did you go to the funeral? No. Did you feel anything? knowing that a child who might have been yours was dead. Of course I felt something. But what was I supposed to do? Show up and claim grief over a daughter I never acknowledged? That would have been worse. I couldn't look at him. I need space. I'm going to my sister's. Emma, please. I can't be here right now. I need to think. I packed a bag and left. That was yesterday. I've spent the last 24 hours at my sister's, going through everything I found. The letters, the photos, the obituary. My sister thinks David abandoned his child and is lying about it. I don't know what to think. This morning, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Hello. Is this Emma Morrison? A teenage girl's voice. Yes. I'm calling about David Morrison. Is he your husband?
Yes.
Who is this? My name is Sophie. This is going to sound weird, but I think David Morrison is my father. My heart stopped. What? I was adopted when I was a baby. I've been searching for my biological parents. I found my birth mother's name, Claire Morrison. She died when I was 8 in a car accident. I found records showing she had another daughter, Mia, who died with her. I'm trying to find information about my biological father, and David's name is on some of the documents. I couldn't breathe. You're Claire's daughter?
Yes.
I was born 13 years ago. I was put up for adoption when I was 6 months old. I'm trying to find my biological father. And you think it's David? I found his name on my birth certificate. David Morrison is listed as the father. But when I tried to contact him at the addresses I found, they were old. Then I found a record of him buying a house 2 years ago with you. That's how I got your number. From a public record. I was shaking. You're on the birth certificate?
Yes.
It says father, David Morrison. Is that your husband? Yes. Can I talk to him? I just want to know who he is. I'm not asking for anything, I want to know. I need to call you back. Please don't ignore this. I've been searching for so long. I'm not ignoring you. I promise. I just need to talk to my husband. Can I have your number? She gave it to me. We hung up. I immediately called David. There's a girl. Sophie. She's 13. She says you're on her birth certificate as her father. She says she was Claire's daughter, but was given up for adoption. She just called me looking for you. Silence. David. I didn't know about her. About who? Sophie? Or that Claire gave up a baby? Any of it. I swear. If there was another child, if Claire gave her up for adoption before Mia, I had no idea. Your name is on the birth certificate. Then Claire put it there without telling me. I never signed anything. You need to call her. This girl. She's looking for her father. I'm not her father. Your name is on her birth certificate. That doesn't mean anything. Claire put my name on it because she wanted me to be the father. But I'm not. You need to take a DNA test.
No.
David.
No.
I'm not doing this. I'm not getting dragged back into Claire's insanity from beyond the grave. This isn't about Claire. This is about a 13-year-old girl who's looking for her biological father. I'm not him. Then prove it. Take a DNA test and prove it. I don't have to prove anything. Yes, you do.
To me.
To this girl. To yourself. You might have a daughter out there, and you're refusing to even find out for sure. He hung up on me. I sat there staring at my phone. Then I called Sophie back. Hi, it's Emma. I talked to David. What did he say? He doesn't think he's your father. But I think you deserve answers. Would you be willing to meet me? Really?
Yes.
I have some things of your birth mother's. Letters. Photos. Maybe they'll help. And maybe I can convince David to take a DNA test. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're meeting tomorrow at a coffee shop. I'm bringing the letters and photos. I'm going to help this girl find answers, whether David wants to help or not. Because if there's any chance she's his daughter, if there's any chance David abandoned not one but 2 children, I need to know. And then I need to decide if I can stay married to someone who could do that. Update, 24 hours later. I met Sophie this morning. She's a beautiful girl, brown hair, blue eyes, David's smile. Or maybe I'm just seeing what I want to see. She brought her adoption papers. I brought the letters and photos. We sat in that coffee shop and pieced together the timeline. Sophie was born 13 years ago. Given up for adoption at 6 months old. Adopted by a wonderful family who supported her search for her biological parents. Mia was born about a year after Sophie. Claire kept Mia but gave up Sophie. I think I know why, Sophie said quietly, looking at the letters. She was alone. David had left. She couldn't handle a baby by herself. So she gave me up, hoping she could get David back. Then when that didn't work, she had another baby, maybe hoping that would bring him back. That's a lot of assumptions. Maybe. But it makes sense, doesn't it? She was desperate. I showed her the photos. Sophie stared at the picture of Mia. She was my sister. I had a sister, and she's dead, and I never got to meet her. We both cried. Will David meet me? She asked. I don't know. He's insisting he's not your father. But he's on my birth certificate. I know. I'm going to try to convince him to take a DNA test. One way or another. You deserve answers. I went home that afternoon. David was there, sitting at the kitchen table, looking terrible. I met her, I said. Sophie. She's a lovely girl. Smart, kind, looking for answers about where she came from. Emma? She has your smile, and she's desperate to know if you're her father. I can't do this. Why not? If you're so sure you're not her father, why not just take a test and prove it? Because if I am, he stopped. If you are, what? You'd have to acknowledge you abandoned 2 daughters? You'd have to face that you're the kind of person who walks away from his own children. That's not fair. None of this is fair. It's not fair to Sophie, who's spent her whole life wondering about her biological father. It's not fair to Mia, who died thinking her dad didn't want her. And it's not fair to me, who married someone I thought I knew. I was scared, he said quietly. I was 21 when Sophie was born. 21 years old, and Claire was telling me I got her pregnant. We'd broken up, gotten back together, broken up again. It was toxic. I didn't want to be tied to her forever. So when she said she was pregnant, I panicked. You ran. I ran. And then a year later, she contacted me again, said she'd had another baby.
Mia.
Said this one was definitely mine. Showed me paternity test results that were inconclusive. I tried for a while. I really did. But I couldn't handle it. The doubt, the drama, Claire's instability. So I left again. And you've just lived with that? For over a decade, you've lived with the knowledge that you might have abandoned your children? I tried to convince myself Mia wasn't mine. That Claire was lying. That the paternity test being inconclusive meant she probably wasn't. And Sophie, I didn't even know about Sophie until yesterday. But you suspected. That's why you kept the letters. That's why you never threw them away. He nodded, tears running down his face. I kept them because some part of me knew I might need them someday. That this might come back. You need to take the DNA test. I know. Today. We're calling Sophie today and setting it up. Okay. We called Sophie together. She cried when David agreed to the test. We set up an appointment at a DNA testing facility for tomorrow. That night, David and I lay in bed, not touching. What happens if she's mine? He asked in the dark. Then you have a daughter. And you need to be a father to her. And us? You and me? I don't know yet. Ask me after we get the results. Update. 1 week later. The DNA results came back. David is Sophie's biological father. 99.9% certainty. David sat in our living room staring at the paper for 20 minutes, without saying anything. You have a daughter, I said finally. I have a daughter, he repeated. Sophie wants to meet him. To talk. To start building some kind of relationship. David agreed. They met yesterday. I didn't go. I thought they should have privacy. David came home 4 hours later looking exhausted. How was it? I asked.
Hard.
She asked a lot of questions. About why I left. About Claire.
About Mia.
I tried to be honest. I told her I was young and scared and made terrible choices. She didn't forgive me, but she didn't shut me out either. We're going to keep talking. That's good. She wants to meet you too. She said you were kind to her, that you helped her when I wouldn't. I'll meet her. Emma, I know you're thinking about leaving. I can feel it. And I wouldn't blame you. I'm not who you thought I was. No, you're not. But I want to be better. I want to try to be the father Sophie deserves, even if it's 13 years too late. And I want to be the husband you deserve. I need time to process all of this, to figure out if I can move past it. I understand. I'm staying with my sister for now. David and I are in contact, but I need space to think. He has a daughter he abandoned. Maybe two, if Mia was his too, but we'll never know for sure now. Can I stay married to someone who did that? Even if he's trying to make amends now? I don't know yet. Final update. 2 months later. David and Sophie have been meeting regularly, building a relationship. It's awkward and complicated, but they're trying. Sophie's adoptive parents are supportive but cautious. They're the ones who raised her, and they're protective. David respects that. I've met Sophie several times now. She's an incredible kid. Funny, smart, resilient. Her adoptive parents did a great job. David is trying. He's in therapy. He's being honest with Sophie about his mistakes. He's showing up consistently, which is new for him. As for us, David and I, we're in couples counseling, working through it. I'm still angry, still hurt that he hid this from me. But I'm also seeing someone who's genuinely trying to change, who's facing his past and trying to be better. I moved back home last week. We're taking it day by day. I don't know if we'll make it, but I'm willing to try. Because sometimes people make terrible mistakes when they're young and scared. And sometimes they get a chance to make it right, even years later. David got that chance. And I'm giving our marriage a chance too. Sophie calls David by his first name, not Dad. Maybe someday that'll change. Maybe not. But they're building something, and that's what matters. My marriage isn't what I thought it was. My husband isn't who I thought he was. But maybe we can build something real from the truth, instead of the fiction I was living in. Time will tell.